Hello guys, and welcome back to Sea Power, Naval Combat in the Missile Age. Do bear in mind that this was recorded during early access and therefore is subject to change. Sea Power is now available to everyone, so check out the game using the link to the Steam page in the description. In this one, we are going to be playing the finale of my missions. This one is called Pacific Persecution. Let me read you the description. 15th of September 1990. After the disaster at the Bering Strait, we will have a chance to finish off the Kirov. Satint and Orion 6 have been working together to keep track of Kirov's movements. We were sloppy, letting the Kirov leave Vladivostok unseen, but so were they for overextending. Your mission is to destroy the Kirov. Doing so will assure our dominance in the Pacific theatre. Article 5 is still being discussed as we speak and has a high probability of being accepted after Russian special forces landed on St. Lawrence. Sinking the Kirov will tip the scales. Time is of the essence. Satint shows ASW escort is on the way from Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky to escort the Kirov to Soviet Pacific port of Vostochny. So today we're going to be using an LA Class 1 in order to try and sink the Kirov. And since the Kirov is well capable of defending itself against harpoons, we're likely going to have to get close with Mark 48 torpedoes. Now we did have a couple of tracks here. This one is most likely to be a submarine, so we should definitely mark where that was. It is likely going to be escorting what this is, which could be anything right now, but most likely the Kirov that we're looking for. So currently we are moving at 15 knots. We have our towed array out and we'll be looking for more information. We do have Orion 6 on standby, our P3C that has been keeping track of the Kirov at a distance with the help of the satellite information. That's currently hovering at 25,000 feet. Its radar probably going to help us identify what this is. We can see that it is most likely a Virginia, Nimitz, Orel, or Kirov. We are looking for the Kirov, and that is most likely what it's going to be. So there we go. It's obviously not a Virginia because that is a US ship. It is indeed the Kirov. So we're going to have to get ourselves in the way of this Kirov and try and get a torpedo on target, but we do have to be very careful about this submarine. So what we're going to do for the time being is start to speed up the game, and I'm actually just going to make sure that we go down to above layer with our submarine. So with the Kirov, we will mark it. We can now do that in the bottom left. I can put a circle on this. We'll do its bearing, which is currently 229. So we'll just set a 229 bearing circle on that. And since our range is like only 20 nautical miles with the torpedoes, we'll set a course and circle around our Los Angeles class so that we know what sort of range we're working with all the time at a glance. Currently just running at 10 times speed. We'll let the P3C come over to give us a hand and keep an eye on any reinforcements that might turn up. And basically, this is the only submarine mission that I've made so far. Now, I think personally submarine missions are quite slow, but I tried to make this one quite exciting. It's quite a difficult mission we'll be playing today, but it's the last of my 5 missions that I've created for Sea Power so far. My little scenario here will end today if we can sink the Kirov, which is getting closer by the second. So is my P3C. So we are identifying this mainly because of its radar. We initially spotted it due to the sonar, passive sonar, and then the P3C basically confirmed what it was. We're just going to continue pulling forwards at 15 knots. Just above layer so that we can keep an eye on the enemy submarine. The enemy submarine might have dived, so we do have to bear that in mind. I'm just going to slow things back down again though, as we have a MiG-25 PD intercept on the way, most likely hunting down my P3C. Now we're not going to have much time to react to that. Let's just get my P3C to dive down to the deck. We'll turn off its radar, and hopefully we'll be able to just hide on the surface of the sea. And the MiG-25 that's currently up at 39,000 feet will struggle to get on target. It has looked like it's just started to go for us. Its speed increased for a second there. We're going to have to be careful. What I might do is actually turn it around, because it saw us heading in this direction, so we'll just head back in the opposite direction as we continue to lose altitude. We did also notice that there was a helicopter on its way, most likely from the enemy fleet that's coming out to escort the Kirov. So this is Kamchatsky over here. This is where they are coming out of in order to escort the Kirov. As with all of my missions, I do put a lot of effort into sort of researching what was in the area. And I will let you guys know that that is a couple of Udaloys, as well as another couple of smaller ships, as Udaloys were stationed here. Alrighty, let's go ahead and continue to speed up the game and hope that the MiG-25 does not find my P3C in the meantime. So we're going to be a little bit cautious for the time being. We won't use my P3C at all. We're just going to allow the LA to continue to sneak up on the Kirov, which is getting closer to us, but we still of course have to be wary of the enemy submarine, which is escorting ahead of the Kirov, which we actually might be getting pretty close to shortly. I'm going to want to kind of head roughly towards the enemy submarine, just to make it as hard as possible to spot us due to any sound waves bouncing off us or just noise in general. We want the noise to be at the back. And we'll try and come up onto the left or right rear of the submarine that we're trying to engage. And we can fire off our Mark 48s to the side and then use wire guidance to put them into the target, so we will be looking to do that at some point. You do have to be careful in this game though, because you can break wires. If you end up turning too fast or moving too fast while you have wire guidance torpedoes out, you will lose control of them. We've got to be getting close now. MiG-25 still hanging about up here. Swinging back around. My P3C staying really low to the deck. You can see it there flying over on the map. Hoping to just be able to stay away from it completely.
Contact faded. Track.
Continue to move away. Right, we will speed things up again. We are coming into range of the Kirov. Now what I might do is try and adjust my depth. We'll head up to like shallow depth here. Shallow depth would be required in order to fire harpoons if we wanted to use those on the Kirov. I'm going to be going for a torpedo kill today, but it might allow my towed array to maybe catch something from the enemy submarine if they are maybe higher. If not, we can dive low, maybe below layer. Maybe worth slowing down even a bit more.
Ahead 1/3. Maneuvering eye.
And this is the nature of submarine warfare, where you really do need to be careful. Let's go ahead 2/3 again.
Maneuvering aye.
And we'll go below layer.
Make my depth. 2.
As we go lower, we'll go ahead standard.
Maneuvering aye.
It will take us up to 15 knots again.
Make my depth. 2-9.
Well, the thermal layers changed quite significantly. At the start of the mission, it was 440 feet for above layer. Below layer is now 290 feet. It's not very high, not very low at all.
Make my depth. 5-7-0. Dive. Contact faded.
We'll start swinging back with the P3C.
Turn 2.
The MiG-25 can't hang about forever. So we'll be using up loads of fuel. The P3C made to hang about for a long time.
New submerged submarine. Contact detected.
We just had the submarine contact come up once again as I moved up to shallow depth. We'll make sure to mark that. It was only 6.7 nautical miles away, which is really not very far for our Mark 48. So we could, if we can get a decent track, go for a torpedo kill onto this submarine before we engage the Kirov. So let's go ahead and speed things up
7. Turn to course. 3, 2,
as we move
5.
to
LMI.
potentially intercept. Now, since we have the location of where the enemy submarine was before, we can gauge a bearing nice and easily. So we'll pop a ruler like so, and we just put it through. There we go, bearing 228 roughly. We know kind of where it's going to be along this line. Assuming that they haven't spotted us yet, they will probably just continue in the same direction.
Roger. Turn 2, 3.
I haven't seen the MiG for a little while, so it may be okay for me to move up to altitude with the P3C. Let's head up to 10,000 feet.
1, 0, 0, 0, 0.
And we're just going to carry on here with our submarine. We'll head back down to above layer.
Depth. 2, 2, 0. Dive aye.
We don't want to hang around near the surface too much, just because enemy helicopters will be in the area from the ASW ships that are coming over to escort the Kirov. The Kirov's still moving towards our position at a steady rate. Let's just hope that submarine doesn't put a spanner in things.
Contact detected.
The time is really starting to be of the essence now, as we can see the enemy ASW fleet on its way to help the Kirov. One cash-in class has been spotted, most likely with the Udaloys, and one other ship nearby. We don't have enough information to completely identify what they are just yet, but there are plenty of helicopters also hanging about.
7, 0, 1, 2.
We are within 8 nautical miles of the Kirov,
Track 7,
but we do still know that there is an enemy submarine nice and close. Now, our objective is to destroy the Kirov,
Contact detected. Turn
but
to
there it
course,
is.
turn to
It's
course.
only
3,
2
2,
nautical
turn to
miles
course.
away.
3, 0, 8. Hell my.
What I might do is just launch a couple torpedoes straight at it. We'll do, and then we'll dive low and deep, get underneath the Kirov, come up on the Kirov from the side. So since basically I'm going to be losing my wire guidance by firing them like this. I guess we could be patient about it and kind of just move in for the kill on the back of the submarine there, but the Kirov can also fire at us if we do that.
Ceasefire, track. Turn to course. 3, whip it away.
Oh, I just fired that by accident. Well, that's a bit unfortunate. Well, we'll just make sure that we give it a track immediately.
7014.
I might just send all of them. We have no idea what this is, but it is already dropping noisemakers. We have 4 tubes, I might as well use them all, and then we'll just dive since we already kind of gave away our position. So we'll go ahead flank, very deep, just get out of there now. And my Mark 48 torpedoes will hopefully be able to track and kill whatever that is. It is likely a Charlie or Victor. There we go, torpedoes in the water, and off they go. We'll have to be careful against any that are coming back towards us. My P3C is currently hanging around at 10,000 feet after the MiG most likely went home. I do have its surface search radar back on, which is giving us good eyes on the enemy fleet over here. So this could be a cannon, a Cresta, or the Kinder.
Turn to course.
I might come back up just so that we can maybe see this, although we do still have a track here thanks to the towed array. Let's not go too low, we'll go above layer still as we continue to pull away. Now we are still avoiding cavitation at 22 knots. These noisemakers were deployed very early on. As soon as I fired those torpedoes, I knew exactly where they were coming from.
Contact faded. Track.
We are going to have to wait for the reload. We have 12 minutes left on our reload of the tubes. What we'll do in the meantime is try and get ourselves into a good position to engage the Kirov.
Contact faded. Track.
Thankfully, these torpedoes do have their own tracking available, although they may not turn in.
Contact faded. Track.
Maybe a failed volley of torpedoes on my end. Yeah, I did want to be more patient, get into their baffles, but unfortunately I fired one by accident, which kind of made them go very evasive early on. Submarine warfare is so difficult. It really, really is. Because you can't really make one mistake. Otherwise you just give the enemy the initiative and you'll end up dying. Like any moment now we'll have helicopters heading over to us as well. So it's only a matter of time right now. We've really got to try and hit the Kirov hard. So one of the utilizers come out. We've got the Cash in here and the Kara. Kara class, pretty scary ASW platform. Does have goblets, geckos, it's got the Silexes, and then plenty of anti-submarine mortars, and also its own torpedoes. Silexes are the real scary thing, can launch them at a distance. Unfortunately for us, looks like my Mark 48s will not be hitting the mark. We'll just kind of ruler in that direction based on what we know.
Turn to course. 0, 5,
And we'll
7.
keep moving into position to attack the Kirov.
New contact faded. Track.
We are very close to the Kirov, and we're only going to be getting closer here as it moves at pretty much standard speed.
Hostile submerged submarine. Contact faded. Track.
Looks like ASW torpedoes were briefly seen in the water there. Gotta be careful. Gotta be real careful. Do not know where those torpedoes are relative to us. I'm also going to be careful not to get this P3C too close to the Kirov, because it does have a 50 nautical mile range that can shoot up at that. So let's go ahead and put a circle on this so that I can make sure that I'm not getting too close. Well, that's scary. Let's go down and speed up because that is a torpedo coming at us. It's swimming around the surface there at the moment. That was dropped in by a KA, maybe even from the Kirov. It's floating above us at the moment. That is really sketchy.
Turn to course. 3, 4, 6.
We'll try and pull away from it and keep dropping noisemakers.
Turn to course. 0, 3, 1. Helm aye. Contact faded.
Okay, it is heading in the wrong direction. That's good. Since they know where we are, it may be time to just get these torpedoes going, although we're still 5 minutes on reload. That is very, very scary. You hear those splashes in the water above you. Just see the torpedo right there. That's crazy. See, when you're inside a submarine, you won't be able to see it, but you might be able to hear it. It's swinging around.
Turn to course. 0, 0, 3. Helm aye.
We're going to want to turn so that we can hear it properly.
7. Turn to course. 3, 3, 2. Helm aye.
Because otherwise the baffles there are not going to be working when we're at this speed.
Turn to course.
Are those more torpedoes ahead of us in the water there? Gosh, there's so many torpedoes. That's not good.
Turn to course. 2, 5, 1. Turn to course. 2, 8.
How am I going to avoid these torpedoes? 4 minutes left on our tubes.
Turn to course. 0, 0, 6. Helm
If I can get underneath them before they start going under, like, down to hunt us, then we should be fine. We're just surrounded by torpedoes, but we can't hear any of them.
4, 8. Helm aye.
Just see them moving around on the surface.
Turn to course. 3. Turn to course.
Okay, we're in a good position to attack. We just need to wait on the reload. We'll just speed things up. We can see that the set 65
Contact faded. Track.
was not close enough. There's another torpedo very close to us there. Wow. These are flying over our head.
Turn to contact faded. Track. Turn to course. 29.
It looks like these might be able to see us. I just need to survive for one more minute to get these off.
Turn to course 340. Turn to course 298. Hell my. Whip it away.
And why is my thing firing?
Ceasefire, track.
Oh, what are you doing?
Engaging track 7006. Multiple surface contacts detected. Multiple hostile surface.
Right, we're gonna put
detected.
all of my
Engage track
harpoons, or not harpoons, my Mark 48s on target here.
Track confirmed.
And we're gonna keep swinging around
Turn to course 296.
at depth.
Ahead flank. Turn to course. Torpedo in the water. Torpedo in the water.
More torpedoes heading towards us. Let's keep
Turn to
going
course.
super fast out the way.
302. Hell my. New air contact detected. Ceasefire track. Engage track 70.
Alright, let's fire off the last torpedo.
Whip it away.
There it goes. Look how many torpedoes are in the water coming for us.
Track.
It's very scary. I'll leave a noisemaker here and we'll carry on.
Track. Turn to course 301. Hell my. Track.
So the Kirov
703.
currently turning to avoid
Hostile.
these torpedoes. She has dropped noisemakers. It is intense. So much potential for one of these torpedoes to find us. Look how many there are. Yeah, my initial mess up on trying to kill the enemy submarine really screwed us. Is that the enemy submarine? That possibly could be the enemy submarine. My Mark 48 is getting actually really close to that. Oh, it has actually tracked onto it.
702. Contact faded. Track. Hit track.
Oh, we managed to hit it. It caught us stray. There's no way. There is no way. That submarine completely caught us stray then. Hot damn.
Turn to course. Turn to course. Contact decoy.
We have another submarine, another
Turn to course.
coming straight in for us.
Hell my. Contact faded. Track. Decoy out. Contact faded. Track.
Gonna have to just try and throw that off as best we can. The Kirov at the moment,
Contact faded. Track.
no luck hitting that.
Track.
Although we did manage to sink, what was it?
Contact faded.
A Victor 3. There it goes. The Victor 3 catching a stray there does get taken out. That is very lucky for me. I think the enemy torpedo is getting disgustingly close right now.
Decoy out. Contact faded. Contact faded. Track. Decoy out. Turn to course. Turn to course.
I think we might be a goner.
5. Hell my. Turn.
We can't shake this one.
Make my depth. 5, 0. Dive I. Decoy out. Make my depth. 1, 1, 4, 0. Dive I. Decoy out. Turn to course. 1, 0.
Oh
0.
no,
Hell
it's
my.
coming in.
Decoy out.
It's coming in. Oh no. I'm sorry, guys. I let the team down. Bonk. That is unfortunate. Damage control, floods, fires. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. Especially this low down. Fire spreading inside. We are wiped. And the Mark 48s might manage to get onto the Kirov, but the trouble is they're kind of bad at tracking surface targets. I maybe should have just gone all in and stayed heading towards the Kirov in order to kill it. That might have been the play. But either way, unfortunately, it looks like we're pretty dead in the water here as the LA goes down.
Contact faded. Track.
I did make this mission to be actually quite difficult, especially with like the entire ASW fleet over here coming over with the helicopters. The enemy submarine being in front of the Kirov actually itself being pretty hard to kill, even if you do hit it with torpedoes. Unfortunately, that's going to be the end of the LA. We're trying to get up to periscope depth. Unfortunately, my launchers are inoperable, so we can't even kill the Kirov anyway. So this time around, the Kirov going to survive to fight another day. It's still dropping noisemakers. Still dropping noisemakers. The LA is gone. That's it. It's a goner. Well, unfortunately, with that, at least the crew might have been able to escape. But the Kirov is going to get away, and World War III won't end quite yet. Well, that is going to be it from me for this one. Unfortunate, because every other time I tried this mission I managed to complete it, but apparently in this mission that's just how it goes. If you want to try this mission for yourself, I will be trying to get them up onto the Steam Workshop. But if you can't wait that long, then make sure to join the Discord, go to my Sea Power mission making channel, and you'll be able to just download the mission file and put it in manually. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed my attempt at trying to kill the Kirov with the Los Angeles class. I completely messed this one up, but sometimes that's just how it goes. And I had a lot of fun regardless. So hopefully you guys did too. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.